What's up, folks? Welcome to the channel. It's Fozzie here. Hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. It's Monday, which means we've got yet another custom tactics video for you guys. Focusing on FIFA 22. Today, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we're taking a look at the 3-1-4-2, which is a bit more of a unique formation. Maybe not as many of you guys are looking for the tactics for this, but definitely a very interesting formation that you can use as your main, or I would also recommend setting it up as a variant you use. We always say having 3 to 4 formations to work with is the ideal, so definitely it's one you should have in those options. It has a variety of different use cases, which we'll explain to you as we go through. Real quick for this other video, I do want to say a big massive thank you. We just hit 1,000 subscribers on the channel, which is fantastic. You guys have been killing it support wise on the views and the subs, so thank you very much for that. We'll now be able to apply for the YouTube partner program, which would be great. Hopefully we get accepted, but just thank you for you guys for all the support on that. If you do enjoy this video, please do leave a thumbs up on it. Helps me out, helps the algorithm, all that good stuff. Also hit that subscribe button, so we just hit 1,000 so we can keep growing. That would be great. And also let me know in the comments down below what you think of this formation, if it's one you're going to try, if you tried it before, how you got on, anything regarding this formation, let me know in the comments down below. But let's jump into it. This is the team I was using. Conceding isn't a traditional out and out attacking winger. He's very much like a wing back or a wide man in the 3-5-2. You'll see how we lined up in game. It does look very defensive from this point of view, but it does work quite nicely in game. I'd say there are some use cases for it. So we've set it as our ultra attacking setting. This doesn't change anything. Go start using this as a heads up in every video. Doesn't matter which one you apply it to here. Think of this as being option 1, 2, 3, and 4, not so much the attacking. We're not running any press this week, which is a big change in this system. There's no press, there's no fast build up. This is a very balanced system that will hopefully, for you guys who maybe are wanting something a bit more simple to get adjusted to and not having to get used to the pressing, this will work for you. So we've got 37 width with having a 3 at the back. You kind of don't want to exceed 40 width. I have one for 37 because I don't want it to be too like stupidly narrow, but also don't want to have those big gaps forming between the centre backs. Going for 63 depth, so we're not like playing drop back or anything, but we're not playing too crazy on the depth. 63 is a nice, I think that like between 55 and 65 is a nice rounded mark where you'll still be able to have control, but again, you're not like leaving yourself too vulnerable with a lot of space for balls in behind. It worked quite nicely. Build up, we're doing balanced with direct passing. In the past, you'll see that I like using fast build up and long ball in this, but I decided to try balance this week. I did like it. I think there are use cases definitely to use fast build up and long ball, but for this system, I quite enjoy balanced, and then we use the direct passing instead of forward runs. Forward runs was something that I tried a little bit, obviously, because you've got basically a flat 5 midfield and 2 strikers. You want that midfield to get forward, but then your strikers are also doing it. I think direct passing, doing a lot of L1 passes, so like you're sending people on runs, that kind of thing works well. 47 width here, so going plus 10 on what we have on the defensive side of things. That's really just to separate the 3 midfielders as they're getting forward and make sure the wide men are actually wide and getting in behind. And then players in boxes 5 and corners free kicks were 2. So this, I just upped it by 1 on each of them to test. I kind of liked having the 2 on the corners and free kicks to give me an extra heading option. The crossing, the sort of corner glitch isn't as prominent anymore, so this is kind of just a hit and hope situation for me. Lining up in game though, we switched to Costa into our right centre back. We have Guardiola and Sule as our 2 main centre backs. Sule is obviously a 6'5" beast. He plays the centre position. Guardiola has been unbelievable at left centre back. I'm going to try him in a 4-4-2 this week to see how he gets on. But I think he's been amazing. One of the best SPCs in the game this year. The midfield 3, we're using Witzel as the centre defensive midfielder because of the work rate and how his stats are. Caliguri and Kimmich are our box-to-box players, which is kind of the ideal setup. I'll say Caliguri has the work rates of high defensive, medium attacking, I believe, and you probably want more of a box-to-box player that's medium, high. You think like team of the season Modric. A player like that would work really well here beside Kimmich, but this is what I was rocking with. We've got Frimpong and Kostic as the right mid and left midfielder, and then Modeste and Diaby as our strikers. I will say maybe someone who's a bit more attacking and good finish would be better than Frimpong here. I think ideally, if you look at that Karsdorp card that just came out and Perisic as left mid and right mid options in Serie A, if you can run a system like this where you've got basically a fullback at centre back, maybe you can put in one of your fullbacks into midfield if they're a team of the season and they play as a box to box, and then you have your out and out defensive midfielder, another box to box, have your Perisic and Karsdorp, 2 actual like wing backs that can score and attack on the wings, and then 2 main attackers in the middle would be the best. On the instruction side of things, keeper's fully balanced, didn't touch anything here. Team of the season Norwich is a bit of an odd one. He's very hit and miss in games, some great saves. His custom animations can let him down sometimes. had that issue before last year as well. The 3 centre backs are fully default as well. We don't touch up on too much there. You could maybe try like an overlap. Where is it? Yeah, you could try overlap on the support, but again, this system is very defensively solid, and that's one of the cores here, so we don't change anything. I will note this: Da Costa, following his 92 upgrade, because he's 6'2", fantastic centre back in a 3-back system. So if you have that card, definitely try him there. Witsel is the defensive midfielder, as we were saying, so he's man mark and stay back. You'll probably notice in the gameplay we show, he does still get forward, he does still get opportunities, because we've got a 3-back on like the 60-something depth. He is still involved in the play, and he essentially is our guardian for the back 3. Our left midfielder, our left centre midfielder, is on get forward and nothing else. On the right hand side, then we have get forward and get into the box or cross. If you had both these players on get into the box or cross, you'd be committing too much. You still have 4 players back with Witsel and the 3 centre backs, but you'd leave yourself very vulnerable. We want Caligari to sort of linger around the box, get in when needed. Kimmich has been fantastic as well. Obviously, Caligari is 4-star, 4-star. Kimmich is 3-star, 4-star. But Kimmich in the box with that dribbling and his finishing was immense. I really enjoyed that. We do have a Hunter on him because his defender's basically maxed out. On the wide man, we've got come back on defense, cut inside, get in behind, and get into the box across. And we have the exact same on the left-hand side of things. I did change to the cut inside as we went on. That's a personal preference one. If you're playing with this and maybe you're finding not that many opportunities, try taking cut inside off and playing as a balanced like default setting. See how that works for you. But we all want these guys to come back. As you can see here, they do play quite high as a right mid and left mid, so we definitely want them to come back and helping in the defensive side of things, essentially making it a 5-back while defending. On the striker side of things, Diaby as our left striker is purely the pace merchant, he's getting behind, and then the right striker is stay center, stay forward, getting behind. This is the beefy guy. These two are universal, you can swap them around. Essentially, it's whoever your bigger striker is, have them on the stay central, stay forward, getting behind option, and then whoever your pacey guy is, put them on just getting behind. Because Diaby's left footer, I put him on the left hand side for those runs through. But that's everything tactics wise. I'd say this formation was very, very nice for me in regards to helping me not concede as many goals, and I've still scored. I will note that it's not like the best attacking system. You can tell that by looking at it. Obviously, you've got 2 strikers, you're very reliant on the wide men getting forward, and you need those centre mids to be making runs. So this is a system I'm going to recommend you try it as your main system to see how you get on first of all, because that's the best way to understand how you like it. And then I'd have it as an option if you're maybe, it's the case of you're wanting to see a game out, but you still want to have a couple of attacking opportunities. I think this one would be great. Say you win the game like 2-0 and you just want to switch into it, so you have that bit more of defensive stability, but you can still score on the break. This is what this is brilliant for. But as I say, you can use it as a main formation. I used it as my main formation for the past week and a half. In champs this weekend, I did only play to 11 wins because I was speedrunning, because there's plenty of other things I had to do this weekend. So sped around to the 11 wins, but I've been playing in Division 1 with it and getting good results. But let's have a look at the gameplay now. So there are 4 bits of gameplay I've recorded specifically for this. We'll see how much and how long it takes to go through them and how much I can showcase. I might not need all 4, but we'll see. Okay, so the first goal here stemmed from a free kick. We've gotten it here with Neuer. You can see the bottom, we've just got the 1 striker forward, and the team is going to get into his natural position here. As I say, this Guardiola card was fantastic in regards to like even just running with the ball and building out from the back with him. We've got Frimpong getting forward here from the right mid position, manages to win the ball. We chip it in. It is Diaby that goes to the header. Falls to Costa, who's in the box for us, and then Modeste manages to tap it in with a finish. There's plenty of goals like this in the gameplay. As I say, it defends as a 5 at the back system, but can get attacking with those wingers whenever you get forward. So you'll see plenty of counter attacks, and this is kind of the defensive shape here, which is great to showcase. Actually, they've had kickoff. Obviously, you've got Modeste and Diaby, who were the 2 strikers. That was Kimmich I was running with. See Witsel, their number 5, Caligari, their number 6, and the team drops into a 5 with the back shape because they aren't come back on defense. So you want these wide men, like as I say, Perisic and Karsdorp are perfect examples of this. Like the 5-star, 4-star, 5-star, and 4-star, 4-star. Good defensive stats, like over the 80s, is what you need, and then they've got good shooting stats as well as pace, dribbling, and everything you need, passing as well. So this is how you defend. If you have players like that, this system is great. Kostic was good for me, but I prefer Perisic there from my experience. And we can discuss how maybe you set up your team beforehand at the end of the gameplay. This ends the game. We've just won the ball back. Kimmich here gets the ball up to Modeste, who holds it. Witsel is getting involved here. We play it through to Diaby. Frimpong, who's obviously getting behind, he's getting involved with the action. We just run it in with him, and I'm pretty sure we just didn't get across here. We do. Modeste gets the ball. Boom, 2-0 up very quickly. and just really nice fluid attacking system. We didn't quite score from this opportunity, but this is again a good case. You can see the 5 at the back system defending. The cost to step up to win the ball with his pace and his stats is great. Lots of little L1 passes here. Didn't do it with Witsel because I don't have to hold the position, but the rest I have done. They're all starting to make runs. Frimpong chips it through to Diaby. I was actually surprised he was onside there. We go for a little finesse. And De Gea gets the save on it, but just again an idea of how those 3 centre midfielders, you will be working with them a lot in this system for build up. Lots of little passes between them to get space, even if you're not sending them on runs with L1 passes. You want to utilize like that triangle that can form between them. You'll be able to pass about with ease, very easy, unless someone's really running a really high press. But while you're passing with them, it allows those wide men to get forward and into attacking positions for you. This is kind of an idea of what we've just been discussing about the build-up. We've won the ball back here. Diaby's got it, and there's Modeste. But obviously, we're on a 2-on-5 here, 2-on-6 if you count this midfielder. We need time for people to get forward. So we've got the ball with Frimpong, and it's like we're passing it and moving forward, but we're letting the build-up happen. I've taken my time with Kimmich so that both Caligiuri and Kostic can get involved with the play. And now I can go, look, I'm in a 3-on-4 all of a sudden here, just because I've taken those extra couple seconds and not rushed it. Again, I wait with Frimpong and get Kostic involved in the play. Now, we're evened out a little bit here, but if I just rush that, how we normally would in a high pressing system, I'm losing the ball, and whilst obviously we still have 4 players back, and this is a really good example of the defensive shape here. You can see in the bottom of the screen, just above the play button, there's my defender's dot. In the middle there, another one, and then Witsel there. This is typically how this system defends with the 3. Now, it is quite wide at the minute. Whenever an attack happens, though, for the other team, these guys become a bit more narrow. Obviously, we're playing with a 47 width in the attack, so they will be a bit wider. 37 width in the defense, so as soon as the other team gets the ball back, they will become a bit narrower. But this helps a lot whenever you're building up. If I had to turn here with Kostic and play a pass, they're not all clumped together. There's ranges of passing. We work it into the middle for Diaby, and I get a really nice turn with him, to be honest, in the finish. That's kind of the things you're looking for with your strikers, and that's obviously you've got no cam or a centre attacking midfielder in the system, so you are going to be looking for balls through where you can quickly turn the defender if you're wanting to score directly with the strikers. I've gone on to the second game here. We are 1-0 up already. The first goal wasn't really worth showing. This is another good defensive into attacking transition. I think there's one goal where I've conceded in the one part of this gameplay, which we'll be able to show you from the defensive role side of things. But as I'm saying, we've got 3 centre backs with a defensive midfielder and a right mid and left mid coming back. You should be able to defend with ease with this system. It's not like overly vulnerable like maybe a 4-1-2-1-2 narrow where we're pressing a lot. But you see, we win the ball back with Kostic here, doing his defensive duties, and then Witsel's there to pick the ball up, and he's kind of like your commander in defence. I'll say he's a guardian in front of those like 3 centre backs, and you can see already the shape here. The centre backs are spreading that little bit for the width. We've got Frimpong here, Kostic here, and the team will start to build up. Kimmich here is in the middle, so I'm going to want to play the ball to him. It went to Modeste, but I was able to do a little bit of link up. This is a game with the runs. We've got getting behind on the wing backs here. I'm going to call them wing backs, the left mid and right mid. But essentially, you can see the build up here. Frimpong, as soon as I play this pass, he's making the run. He knows he can beat this guy. This is where maybe this is their left back who's not tracking it as well. I think it was actually Rooney. We just chipped the ball and Diaby fires it home on the volley. Now, there were 2 other bits of gameplay. I'm going to use one more here. This is a 3-on rage quit. I'm hoping the goal that was conceded will showcase at least a bit of defensive rules, but I will say it's more of a challenge to score many goals as opposed to stop conceding them. So if you're someone who concedes a lot of goals and needs defensive stability, this formation is definitely worth trying. I'm just going to let the gameplay run for a little bit here so you can get an idea of some of the ways we're defending with the 3 defenders. Da Costa's able to step in again. You've got Witsel, Caligiuri and Kimmich already there. We do give the ball away, and you can see we've lost the ball. In a different system here, if I lost the ball here, I would probably have had 2 centre backs and then 2 full backs pushed right up. And it would have been a bit tougher. Because we've got 3 here, it's harder for him to break it down. We're able to shut off a lot of avenues, and because then essentially you're leaving 2 up top. You've got what, 9 players behind the ball, including the goalkeeper, 8 players outfield behind the ball. It cuts down a lot of the opportunities for them. Now, if you're playing a top player like a pro, they'll be able to work these avenues, but most of us here, we're playing in that, like, maybe pushing for 11 wins, maybe even 9 wins position. So a system like this, you'll be able to defend against in most cases, and then this is where you get the opportunities to build up. We had a big through ball there for Diaby that was available. This was Modeste. If I had a bit of a pacier striker there, maybe I can get in behind and get something there from it. But again, it's an example of how it's so easy to like absorb the pressure. And it's not dropped back. You can see we're not dropping back here. We're still near the halfway line. We're still being aggressive with some players, but it's just having that extra defensive option in the system. And then obviously you've got that core in the midfield. But again, here you've got the build-up options. As I mentioned in the other cup, I'm waiting for the build-up here. I'm waiting for the centre mids to get forward. I'm waiting for the wide men to get involved. And that's how you'll need to play the system to get those opportunities to score. Speaking of scoring, here's the first goal we scored. This one was just kind of a hit and hope. I didn't mean to shoot here with Modeste, but he rifled it in. It was fantastic, so we can't complain about that. That was an absolute banging shot on his weak foot, I believe, as well. Like, this is the goal we conceded, and this is probably like the one issue you maybe have defended, is where we've got 3 defenders now because the wing backs have been forward. They've been forward and involved. And this guy's maybe playing a fast build up, and this is where you can get hit. I missed the tackle with Caliguri there. He was slotting in, and instantly, although we've got 3 players back here, it's a wide man who needs to come across. De Costa here, who is already losing pace to Ronaldo, and then Frimpong, who's out of position completely. I then mess up, I hit L1 too many times, he gets through and can just tap it through. I'll say, unless you're playing someone who's on a really high press against you the entire time, those are the sort of goals you can expect to concede. Not over often, not a regular occurrence, but like if you had to pick a defensive role, it will be those cases where maybe you give away the ball and like you miss a tackle with a centre back, and then instantly you're left open for those sort of scenarios. Thankfully though, we were able to score 2 more and then get the reg credit. This is what Witsel, where you can get him forward. Diaby makes a nice little run through. Hits the post and goes in, thankfully. But that's the sort of things you can do with Witsel. He will, because there's 2 other centre mids for the other player to mark, or the CPU to mark, you will get some opportunities with Witsel or your centre defensive midfielder to run through like that. We see we pick the ball up with Caliguri here. I kind of tried to pump it over into Modeste. It didn't quite work, but we've now got space for the wide men to get involved. You can see, although we've not got a Cam, who would probably normally be sitting here, or Diaby would be the striker, the Cam would be a little bit forward, there's still plenty of options. We can work it well. Kimmich gets through there. Bit unfortunate. Got a lucky bounce, win the ball back with Witsel. That's one of the big things with Witsel. He's a bit of a tank. As I say, we get through with him and we can score. This is, he's very good. He's not going to be in my team for much longer, but if you have him, fantastic for that defensive midfielder position. I guess that's the tactics, that's the instruction, that's the gameplay. From my perspective, from a personnel point of view, I would say my team was well equipped for this, but possibly could have been better. In that, I mean, we obviously had 3 box-to-box with 2 more defensive style players in the midfield because of Caliguri's work rates, and then Kostic was a good wing back, but not as ideal. I would say you probably want to play with a 4-at-the-back system, how we've started here. And with those 4 defenders, you're going to take one of them and play them as centre back, in our case, Da Costa. And then you want to actually take Frimpong and play him in midfield, or your other player. Say you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold, team of the season, you can slot him into midfield. You still want a player like Witsel to play defensive midfielder, but essentially you want another box-to-box like Kimmich, and then you want the likes of Frimpong to then slot into that midfield role, where maybe we had Caliguri, so like a high player, or maybe even a high medium who'll get forward with good defensive stats. You want your wide men to be the likes of Perisic and Karsdorp. They're the best 2 examples I have at the minute, where they are perfect for, like, say, a 3-5-2 or even a 3-1-4-2. And then you want to have 2 like traditional attackers. So essentially the way to do that in this system would be, if I had, say, Perisic at my left midfield spot here, and then I had Karsdorp on my right midfield spot, what I'd really need to do is change out Caliguri to a striker. I'll say we have like Pele in the team. Then you'd be able to play Pele and Modeste up front. You'd have your 2 wide men, obvious to go to, and then you push your Frimpong into midfield, and then you're done and dusted. But that's the video for today, guys. As I said, if you do enjoy it, hit that like button, helps me out, helps the algorithm, all that good stuff. Hit that subscribe button if you're new around here. Again, thank you very much for 1,000 subscribers. All the support to keep pushing this channel is greatly appreciated. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Best of luck with those team of the season polls, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.